Hey friends, so today I wanted to show you how to Mod Podge a picture onto a piece of wood. This is Mod Podging a picture on. I also have a video if you want to see how you can transfer an image onto wood, and I will link that for you guys. So I just went and cut a piece of wood. You can also get just a blank from the craft store or Walmart to Mod Podge on. But I had some wood to go, so I used that. I took this painting that Carter painted and made a print out of it just on photo paper, and that is the picture that I'm going to go and put on this piece of wood. So the first thing I did was just paint the edges of the wood with this gray. I kind of wanted to have a distressed effect. So I painted the edges a bit darker than what I'm going to paint the rest of the wood. This doesn't have to be perfect because I am going to go over all of it with white paint too, so I just kind of painted on what I could and then let it be. And then I went and let it dry. After it dried for a bit, I went and took just this white acrylic paint and painted the block white, and I went over the edges and the corners and painted those white too, and you can see how that gives the effect. The edges are slightly darker than the rest of the wood, and the photo is going to be in the center of the block, so I didn't really distress the middle of it at all because you're not really going to see that. I only put one coat on because I know that I'm going to have to kind of go back over it if I choose to sand it, and I am going to sand this one. So I just did the one coat and let that dry, and then went ahead and used my matte Mod Podge to attach the photo to the piece of wood. So I just go ahead and squirt some on the back of the image and spread that out. And I also make sure to put some on the block as well. This does dry fairly quickly, so you kind of want to work a little fast. And then just place your image onto your block of wood. I made sure to stand mine up so I could double check if it was centered the way I wanted it when it would be sitting up. And when I had it the way I wanted it, I just went ahead and pushed it down. If you have a lot of bubbles, you can use a card to kind of press things out. Just be really gentle because you are using a photograph. You wouldn't want to scratch the picture or anything. But I just pressed it with my hands, and that was fairly good. This step's completely optional. If you like the way it looks just placed on the wood, you can keep it that way, but I wanted to add a little more detail to it. So I just took my orbital sander and just kind of distressed the edges of the photograph. And that took some of the ink off of the photo paper and also distressed that paper just a little bit. After I sanded it, there were places where obviously that white paint is going to pull up a little bit from sanding it, so I just went back in with my white paint and added a little bit more around the edges of the photograph. And this is where you can kind of make things your own. I kind of just put it around the edges and a little bit of dry brushing around the wood that was not really sanded off. I just kind of kept playing with it until it was how I liked it. I do want to mention too that this painting was a tutorial that I found on YouTube, so I will link that tutorial for you guys too. And I followed along with it with Carter and helped him, and he did a great job painting it. Since this was a print of Carter's artwork, I made sure to have him sign it since it's his work. And then this is the trick when you're Mod Podging or gluing something onto wood. So Mod Podge is basically just watered down glue. So essentially we're just gluing this print on. You want to make sure you take your Mod Podge and go all the way on top of the photo and get those edges really sealed down. So now I'm just going around the edges and blending that glue into the rest of the wood. And now I'm going to seal in the whole photograph just by adding Mod Podge on top of everything. So it goes on white, but it dries clear, so don't be too concerned. And if you see, I mean, very well you could put Mod Podge to the side and dip your brush in and put it on top, but I'm kind of lazy, so I just squirt it on top like that. So if you see lines from where you squirted it, I just did circle motions to get those lines out and blend that rest of the glue in place, and it was fine. I didn't see any lines or anything on my image. And since Carter just signed his name, I'm just being extra careful on top of his name when I seal it down. This is also called decoupage or decoupaging. So essentially I'm just taking a photo and decoupaging it onto this piece of wood. And I'm just going back with my fingers and making sure those edges are really pressed down and pushed in so the glue can adhere and really just stick those edges down. And that's it. I'm all done. I just have to let it dry and I'm good to go. This is a great project too because once you get it onto the wood, you can embellish it or add ribbons or twine or anything that you would like to it. I just left mine blank. And there we have it. We have Carter's print from his painting onto a piece of wood, and we gave this as a gift and it turned out pretty fantastic. Thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, you can find more from us here. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever decoupaged or transferred an image onto wood before. And leave some love down in the comments for Carter too. Let him know what you think of his painting. And make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Bye, guys.